back, and so is the Mega Maze in Bridgehampton. It's attracting thousands of families this fall, intent on purposely getting lost. Take a look. While the pumpkins are plump and the corn is sweet, the more adventurous sought out the lesser path traveled, taking the plunge into this mega maze. Hundreds of families lined up to take on the giant maze at the Fairview Farm in Bridgehampton. This aerial view really captures its immense size, cut in the shape of a swan for the nearby Swan Creek.
It's 8 acres. There's about 250,000 corn plants in here. It's 12 feet high. I can't see out.
Harry Ludlow's family has run the corn maze for 16 years. They change its design every year, successfully confounding veterans who made their way through in the past.
It's a maze.
It's amazing we can't get out.
We've been wandering for about 2 hours.
These young explorers relied on teamwork to find the exit.
I think we're a bit lost here.
And we just started, actually.
Yeah, so we don't get how to get back because we just...
And we have to stick together.
To make sure nobody gets caught in the maze overnight, everyone is given this clue sheet. When you come to the numbered signpost, if you answer the trivia question right, it tells you which way to turn.
Old MacDonald had his farm. No, see, so I have to turn right here.
This couple has their own unique strategy.
Well, when we go to the left side, we make every left, and when we go to the right side, we made every right. And sure does take you the long way, but hard to get lost.
Benjamin Week's girlfriend says getting through the maze is like the search for true love that can first take you down the wrong trail.
And then you find the right trail, and it's all good.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect way to end that, as long as you don't wind up stuck there. The Mega Maze will be open through mid-November, one of many corn mazes you can find on Long Island, of course. And interestingly enough, it's an example of how the farm industry is expanding in so many unexpected ways on the island. Joining us now to talk about that is Rob Carpenter. He's from the Long Island Farm Bureau, representing farmers, and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
After seeing that, you ready to give the maze a try?
Absolutely.
I'm going to go with the 7-year-old. He seems to know where to go.
The younger people seem to have a knack of finding their way through things.
They got it figured out. Well, like I say, it's an example of the flourishing farm industry on Long Island. Talk about some of the other types of products and things that farmers are expanding into on the island.
There's no question that agritourism has become an important part of the farm economy, whether it's the apple picking, wine industry, craft beverage industry, some of the local fairs and festivals. It's been a way for farmers to really evolve in the changing face of the times.
Yeah, now how big is the Long Island farm industry? How many people does it employ? How much money does it generate?
So most people don't realize that Suffolk County is one of the largest agricultural counties in New York State. There's about 600 farm operations, and we generate almost $240 million a year in sales.
That's just for the farmers.
That is correct.
Then there's spin-off dollars, because I know it attracts a lot of tourism, right?
Absolutely, and people come out to visit the wineries, the farms, the farm stands, spend their dollars at restaurants, go to local attractions. So we estimate roughly it's about $1 billion impact on eastern Long Island.
Yeah, you see entire families just trekking their way east and stopping, taking their time, spending the entire day. You know, they're not just hitting that farm where they were picking apples. They're doing a lot more than that.
Absolutely. Pumpkin picking, sampling the local goods, buying from the local farm stands, the fresh local produce. It's really become the in thing.
How does this compare to, say, 20 years ago?
20 years ago, there was much more wholesale operations where farmers would grow large crops and send them into, let's say, the market in New York City. That has evolved as the buy local movement and the farm to table movement has evolved, where people want to come out, buy local products, take them home and enjoy them.
Yeah, because people say, well, we grow corn here, I should be able to get my corn here, or the lettuce from my salad. And you see that being successfully marketed. We've done stories on it on the supermarket chains that have said we're going to only buy this stuff from our local farmers.
Very much so. The quality is tremendous when you can buy it fresh picked that morning from the farm.
Yeah, and it's good marketing, and, you know, it's good politics. You're making friends with your neighbors. It's kind of surprising that that wasn't the case before.
Absolutely.
Well, as you know, with success comes criticism, though. You know, since the farm industry is large, they have to use products like fertilizers and, you know, pesticides, so that because people are not going to buy crops that have insects in them, and we all know that. But on the other hand, a lot of nitrogen can leach out from that and get into our groundwater, into our surface waters. and that's bad for the water quality. So where do farmers stand with tackling that problem? Because they're constantly under stress from environmentalists who are always grabbing us by the ear and saying, we've got to cut this down.
Absolutely. One of the things that farmers have been very proactive on Long Island in particular is dealing with the nitrogen issue. There are many mechanisms for what we call agricultural stewardship, where farmers can implement practices such as slow-release fertilizers that enable the plant to actually take up the nitrogen before it leaches.
Yeah, I'm seeing these technologies. Are they proven?
Yes, they are, and many farmers on Long Island have started incorporating them into their farm operation.
You would think they all would. Is there a major expense involved, perhaps?
There's a little bit more of an upfront expense, but in the long run, and a little bit more time to implement these practices.
What about the organic pesticides? Do they work? Because I've heard both sides of this.
The organic community is a very vital community to agriculture, and it's a lifestyle choice for people. One thing that people don't understand is that organic products do cost a little bit more because they are more labor intensive.
Is that the real reason that farmers have been a little slow to adopt some of them, or because others have said to me they don't work?
Some of the organic practices are actually being adopted by the conventional farmers and vice versa.
You know, one of the things that also is been seen on a lot of farmland, greenhouses. And that too has sparked a debate with the environmentalists, especially when it's land that was acquired by the county through the set-aside program, where the farmers give up their rights to develop the land to keep it as a farm. But as a result, the county has an expectation that that should look like a farm. And the environmentalists have objected to some of the structures, like greenhouses, that have been put there that the farmers say they need to make a living. And now we just had a court ruling that says, no, they're not supposed to be doing that.
Correct. Well, to understand the program, you need to understand the history of agriculture on Long Island. About 100 years ago, there were actually many farms in Nassau County, to the extent that farmers actually helped to found Farmingdale College as an agricultural college. As the population has moved further and further east on Long Island, they've utilized the farmland to build houses. In 1974, the county enacted the Farmland Preservation Program and modeled it after a working lands program. So the farmers sell their development rights, but not necessarily extinguishing all of the rights.
Well, there's clearly going to be a legal battle here. I've already heard that there's a possibility of appeal. Environmentalists are applauding it. Some farmers are upset because they've already moved down this road, but at least you've set out the principle that farmers believe they have the right to do. County may be seeing it differently, but you know, like I said, with success comes criticism. Rob Carpenter, Long Island Farm Bureau, talking about the thriving farm industry on Long Island that employs so many and has brought benefits to our island. Thank you for stopping in today.
Thank you very much.
Ed, we'll be right back.